you remember the World Cup in 94, 1996 MLS was launched. And it's a direct connection from what happened in 1994, right?
Do you maybe have a prediction of somebody we could see come over from maybe Europe, England?
But we're seeing Antoine Griezmann. He's coming now in the summer to Orlando City. He'll be at every NBA game.
Oh, yeah.
Sitting courtside. He's a huge NBA guy.
I mean, they expanded to 48 teams. How do you think
And Italy still couldn't make it.
I know.
I'll tell you that France, I think, is the most talented team by a large margin.
Who's better, Messi or Ronaldo?
I'll take myself out of this conversation. I've been fortunate enough to have a lot of conversations with former soccer players.
All right, welcome back. We are joined by a special guest that Connor and I are really excited to have, Stefano Fusaro of CBS Sports Soccer. We don't get to talk a lot of soccer.
No, we don't. Not
over
at
here
all.
often, and we've been wanting to too because soccer product for sports cars is on the rise big time right now.
Oh, my God.
We've been ripping a ton of it, but also the World Cup is coming up. We got, soccer leagues across the world in full swing right now. But how we doing? Welcome to Rochester, New York.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me. This is a good time for us because, for soccer snobs everywhere, with the World Cup coming, now you can they can really kind of look at you and be like, "Hey, you got to pay attention now.
Yep.
It's the World Cup in our country. You got to pay attention to it."
But it was funny because, like Dante said, we're not used to ripping a lot of soccer products.
Yeah,
so both Dante and I are big football fans, basketball. I was telling you prior, I'm a Spurs fan, so I haven't really been paying attention a lot this
Can't
year.
blame you.
But I've noticed it within the chat. We just started our own where people will come in and just buy wax. And they can buy anything from Marvel to football to soccer to UFC to SpongeBob Sapphire to literally anything. And I would say 20 to 30% of our buys right now, MLS Sapphire.
A lot.
We just
EPL.
EPL
lot of
Sapphire.
EPL.
That makes sense.
But
Yeah.
it was I was apprehensive of when it came out because I didn't know the rookie class very well. Obviously, you've got some of your older vets. What I knew more was the MLS, and I didn't know how our customers would come across. I had a flash, basically a line out the door of people asking when we got EPL soccer in, and it's been so much fun to rip. Yeah. So it's really starting to set in. I didn't notice how big the World Cup was until some of these products started to come out and the influx of people just coming in and buying it. I don't know if you feel the same way.
No, definitely. I mean, I've gotten into soccer or football a lot in the last, was it 2026? 6 years. Yeah. I worked for a semi-pro soccer team out of Syracuse in the NISA League.
Nice.
And since then, about 2022, just been watching so much different soccer. Yeah. I've learned more about it. I don't have a team, but I have teams I root for.
I just have players now.
I love Man City because I love Holland.
Because you like to win.
Love them.
Of course.
I'm not a fan,
this guy doesn't know about Carlos Tevez. Dude.
I love Holland.
It was hard. Okay?
Holland's a stud. I like Nashville FC. I mean, they win, but I have family in Nashville. The new stadium's really nice. If you haven't been yet, really nice stadium.
Let me guess. Barcelona is who else you like, huh?
No.
I'm just kidding.
I mean, no.
They lost in the Champions League today, so
They
he's going to
did,
say,
they
no,
did.
I just like a bunch of different rent teams because I like players,
fair.
and that's how I've been getting into soccer more.
Yeah.
But I am so excited for this summer's World Cup. The fact that it is in the U.S. and soccer's already growing continuously, and you could talk more about that as well, is we want to get to a point where we can compete, which I don't know if maybe we ever will, with the Euro leagues, those huge leagues overseas. And this is an opportunity where Americans can see it up close and personal and see the best players in the world.
It did wonders in 1994. If you remember the World Cup in 94, 1996 MLS was launched. And it's a direct connection from what happened in 1994, right? It's a shame with the U.S. team because
It's bad.
they were heading in the right direction, though, in 2022.
They got good players. It's just
And that's the issue, that they really fumbled this generation. It was kind of touted as the golden generation of the U.S., and they are having individual success at massive clubs in Europe, and they were on the right path in 2022. They have a good performance at the World Cup, a performance that you would say you could be proud of, right? Get out of the group, have a good win. they go on and they fall against a better team. It's just plain and simple. A Netherlands team is just better.
Yeah, Netherlands was good.
Yeah, I mean they only lose on a penalty shootout to the eventual champions in Argentina. But the U.S. team from then on, it's been an absolute disaster. In my opinion, they kept the coach a little bit too long. They needed to refresh that process and keep it going. And it really has failed, and it sucks because they're at a place now where the expectations aren't too high. That could be a good thing for this team that maybe doesn't deal well with the pressure, but it would have been you wanted this team to be kind of on a high going into this tournament. It will still do wonders for the sport here, but it would be a lot better if they had an actual shot of making some noise, let's say.
Yeah, and I mean we can continue to talk about the US too, because I mean obviously we want success. We see it in basketball. We're always the top team. Soccer, I feel like we're kind of the middle of the pack. How far do you think realistically they could go this year? Like, do you think they can win their pool play? I feel like they have
an easier pool than most.
It changed now with Turkey getting involved because they had to qualify. Turkey had to qualify to get into the group. They got into the group. They're immediately the favorites. Yeah, in all the sports books, they immediately shot up to be the favorite in that group. I think getting out of the group stage is the goal. Is the number one goal for the U.S.
That's what I
get
want.
out of the group stage.
And
don't embarrass yourself on home soil. Don't do that. Go in through the next round and have at least a fighting chance of getting into a second knockout stage. I think that's kind of the goal right now.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you. Let's just say, obviously, we root for the best. Let's say the U.S. doesn't make it out of pool play. Do you think that's a major step back for soccer in the U.S., the fact that it's hosted here and we can't even get out of pool play?
No, I don't think so. I mean, maybe to the casual viewer, of course. But the infrastructure that the U.S. has put in place over the last 25 years to develop talent is there. That's not going away. They still have. That's why MLS has gotten so much better. That's why you have this group of players now that are playing at the Juventus, at Milan, in the Premier League. You have players playing in the top leagues in the world because of that. That's not going anywhere. That pipeline is still developing. But to the casuals, they don't care. It's going to be like all over again. But they only watch once every 4 years. Right. You know what I mean?
Do you think hosting applies more pressure, or do you think it hurts or helps?
It helps.
The U.S.
I agree.
Okay.
There's a long track record of teams outperforming their expectations in home World Cups. And that's why a lot of the teams you see, England, their only World Cup win was in England. France, up until their second World Cup win, their first one was in France. So it definitely helps the home team to support to kind of outplay what you're expected to.
Well, I think, and you could probably attest to this, like at least from a person like outside looking in, like I had just brought up, MLS, I knew more about because when I was growing up, that's when I really started to watch. Right. David Villa, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, obviously Messi, Kaká, Marco Reus now, right? All of these players, those were my guys when I was growing up that I was watching. They're all in the MLS now, and these are massive names. So I feel like glass half full, not only hosting it, but like you had brought up, the MLS just becoming a better league, I think is really, really going to take strides, at least in the future. I don't know if you wanted to, if you got anything on that.
It really comes down to the infrastructure. Look, you're seeing a great example is the Italian national team, what we're seeing. Third straight World Cup that they missed. Historic. The first ever of there's only a few champions in this, right, that have ever won the World Cup. And this is the first time that a champion of a World Cup has missed 3 in a row. And it all comes down to the infrastructure and the lack of a system to develop players the way the U.S. has. The U.S. is ahead of Italy right now, which is insane to say, but it's the truth. Because they haven't been able to develop the players to get them to a World Cup 3 in a row. It's insane. So when you have a league like MLS that is kind of a feeder system for the national team and is developing players at a really good rate, that's where MLS is going to do better. The national team will do better. And so I don't think that has a direct correlation with the way that they will perform at this World Cup.
Do you think we'll continue to see, I mean, like there's medium names, but then there's the Messi names coming into the MLS. Do you think we'll continue to see that? And then do you maybe have a prediction of somebody we could see come over from maybe Europe, England, wherever to play in the MLS.
Well, we're seeing Antoine Griezmann. He's coming now in the summer to Orlando City. That's
Yep.
exciting. I mean, he's
Good
still,
friend of the show.
Big sports
Oh,
card
yeah?
collector.
He's huge.
Yep.
He's going to be in Orlando. He'll be at every NBA game.
Oh, yeah.
Sitting courtside. He's a huge NBA guy, Antoine Griezmann.
Big sport card guy too. Yeah.
It'll still, yes, the league is going to continue to bring players over. They'll tell you that the more important part of them is developing young talent, and it is. It's kind of the base of every team is still young, developing players. But it's, I mean, yeah, you need that. They need that. They understand that. I think that MLS knows where they're at as far as to continue to keep the star power is what keeps the league going. The younger developing of players is what fills the rest of every roster and every team.
Yeah.
And that could be possibly encouraging for those young players to stick around and stay in the MLS and develop. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's just continuing to grow.
Yeah, it's
year by year.
awesome.
I think the Messi and him bringing his buddies over too,
Right.
just progressed it even more and just continuing up on that because we saw huge celebrities. Like there was like the Kim Kardashians of the world,
LeBron, right?
like all the big names
LeBron,
in
Beyonce,
Miami
we're all there.
watching,
Yeah.
and it was there before, but like it felt
Not to this
different
level,
this
yeah.
time where it was just it blew up.
It's a global superstar. Right? You don't have many if you start to really truly think about it, right? We named a couple that were at the game all together, right?
But that's like it.
Right.
You know
That's
I
what
mean?
I'm saying. Like he transcends any sport.
So cool.
And that's why it's so cool that he decided to come to the States to finish his career. And yeah, it's great to see that. And they just opened a brand new, beautiful stadium. I'm going down there soon. Gotta check that one out.
I feel like it was like a perfect city to bring Messi in. I mean, also having Beckham there, like it was a perfect city to bring Messi in, where like the soccer community is already so strong there.
It's huge.
And Messi could just fit in like he's overseas.
Right.
There's almost more Argentines there than there are in Buenos Aires. It's insane. I'm a South
crazy.
Florida guy originally, so from down there. My dad's from Argentina, so it's clearly that's why I'm rocking it. But he,
That's awesome.
he already has. It's a different fan base, so it's not that kind of the stereotype of South Florida fans that not the best fans. Maybe they're a little bit weak. Maybe this and that. It's a different type of people that come to that game, and the atmosphere is fantastic. It's great. It really is.
I feel like also building into that as well. We were talking about celebrities getting into the soccer world. They're also buying into the soccer world where we're seeing them in ownership groups. LeBron's in an ownership group. I think Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant owns the Philadelphia Union, part of the Philadelphia Union.
Mahomes family
James Harden
is
Houston
like there's
Dynamo.
more
really?
and more.
I didn't know that. That's
which I
cool.
think helps bring even more eyes, but also it shows if these guys believe, like everyone should believe. Not that we like look up and do everything they say, but like there's a lot of belief behind the growth that people are putting their money into it, and that it's here to stick around. And soccer's just it's going places, which is awesome. It's amazing.
Yeah, there's no question. It's continuing to grow. It's beautiful to see.
Now in that same retrospect with the Saudi league now, would you say that that's like a same trajectory of like what is? I haven't watched much of it, but obviously massive names over there. Are their goals kind of similar in the growth of because Saudi Arabia obviously they had a fairly successul run. What was it? Was it the World Cup?
They
Couple
beat
years-
Argentina
they
in the
beat
last World
Argentina,
Cup,
right?
But that was like they had the first loss of the tournament, and then Argentina went on to win the whole thing.
Yep. So
but it was good. Yeah.
Would you say that that's like are they trying to assimilate kind of the same situation? Like, do you have an opinion on that whole?
I think there's a lot of different motives on the Saudi league.
I would have to agree.
But they're not developing players at the rate that MLS
that was my
is.
question.
They're
I
just
didn't know
paying.
if-
They're just
I was
paying
gonna
big
say,
They
bucks
just want to have
Trying to get
people at
superstars.
The
this.
tickets, so
and
That's fair.
you see some of those games. Some of the teams that don't have some of those players are pretty empty.
Not great.
Pretty like in stadiums that look like they're decrepit and not great.
Man.
Of course, on Cristiano Ronaldo's team,
Yep.
Al Nassr and Al
Yep.
Ittihad and some of these other bigger teams. Yeah, beautiful stadiums, packed house. But yeah, no, not the same as
Interesting.
MLS. It's very different.
Interesting.
Trust me. Let's jump back into some World Cup talk. I wanted to ask you about. I mean, they expanded to 48 teams. How do you think
And
that?
Italy still couldn't make it.
I know. I feel kind of offended. How do you think that's going to change the overall competitiveness of the tournament, and do you like it?
Not sure if we needed it. I think that 32 is a good number. it was a no-brainer to happen just from the business aspect of it.
It's happening in a lot of sports.
There are gonna, and it's it's kind of the. I think we got to try to accept that in sports now because we're gonna have more games, which is great. And we enjoy that, and we watch more games, but quality might suffer a bit. Look, I think there'll still be some great, fantastic soccer. It's still gonna be a great tournament, but there will be a couple games that maybe aren't exactly
too exciting
quality viewing. Let's say.
Do you think we'll get to the point where basically, if you have a team, you're in at this rate with it growing?
What do you mean? Like,
Basically, like Italy, you're in. You don't even got to play for it.
It kind of takes it away. There's years
I
of
agree.
qualification that goes into it, right? Like, this tournament will end this summer. Next summer, South American will start their qualifying process for the next World Cup in 2030.
Right.
So it kind of takes away. It'll take away a lot of
course,
the kind of the beauty of having to work so hard to get there, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
And those are so much more fun games. Like I remember I was a big sport bettor, and I'd wake up at 5 a.m. and it'd be 2 p.m. and I'm watching Afghan. You know what I mean? Like watching the African Cup of Nations, and it was so much fun. I'm watching Mozambique play Tunisia.
Hey, I've been there. I've been there before.
It's so much fun though. Like those games were a blast to watch. Like it's cool. It's cool. I don't know. I think it would take away from all of those type of games. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
As someone who appreciates watching live sport, whatever it may be or whatever time, like I appreciate getting up to watch AFCON.
Yeah, but
See,
then,
I actually covered that on our shows, AFCON, because it's a huge deal.
It was when Cape Verde went on a run like no other, and I was like, I feel like I'm part of this country of 800,000 people right now. They're beating Senegal and they're beating Morocco.
It's amazing.
Like, what's going on?
I love that. Who are your top 3 favorites to win this year's World Cup?
I believe, and I've said this on the air now several times, 1A and 1B are Spain and France. I think that they are a notch above everybody else right now for different reasons. Because I'll tell you that France, I think, is the most talented team by a large margin. I do believe that. But Spain is a well-oiled machine that have been playing together and winning together for such a long time. And they obviously have a ton of talent as well. But they kind of work together as a team, whereas France is a collection of absolutely incredible individual players. So I really do think it's interesting because it's such different styles, but they are 1A, 1B. I would say third favorite for me, I think England is not there.
Okay.
I don't think England is there. I think they are talented. I don't think they have that kind of killer instinct. They lack it in games. They don't know how to put games away. Argentina for me will be number 3. It might be a little emotional. Might be a little bit of an emotional head there for me.
Okay, though.
But like it's so hard to repeat as champions in this tournament. It's only happened once. So for me, I have to put them up there because they're still, again, like Spain, a very well-oiled machine that knows how to play together. They've been playing together for a very long time. But it's just so tough to win again back-to-back. Like I said, it's only done once.
I feel like having an older Yamal, an experienced Yamal, where like
older at 18.
Which is crazy.
Literally.
So nuts.
But also at the same time is like this could be his World Cup. Obviously, he made his name known last time around.
Yep.
This is where he can establish himself.
Sure.
Mean, he already kind of is.
He won the Euros.
Yeah.
He won the
Which
Euros.
is huge. But like
And,
on the
like, by
world
himself
stage,
felt like
where a lot of the U.S. doesn't know about him, maybe some countries around the world, that he is the next biggest thing in soccer. One of the next biggest things in soccer.
For sure.
He's got the talent, and it clearly shows on the field. Where like going out and winning a World Cup, a lot to start your career. It'd be crazy.
That's what Mbappé did, right? He won that World Cup in what year was it? 2018?
18.
Yeah, and that was the beginning. He was still so young.
Yep.
Now he's chasing the Champions League, which he doesn't have yet. Honorable mention to Portugal. I think Portugal's a fantastic team, but I'll say this. Different than Argentina, where Messi will start, and it's interesting to see what will happen with Ronaldo, because he's going to want to play, clearly.
Yep.
But I think he needs to understand that they have so many good players on that team that he may have to play a role here. And I think that'll be better for them if he was a super sub coming in. You have Cristiano Ronaldo coming in that will put the fear of God into any other defender. I do think that might be the right approach for them. They could win the World Cup 100% with the team they have.
That's a perfect transition because I wanted to ask if this is going to be a little bit of a passing the torch World Cup with like Messi passing it on to some of the younger guys and then Ronaldo as well. And there's some other teams too that some of their stars are getting older. Do you feel it's kind of a little bit of a passing of the torch World Cup?
For sure. We're for us that watch soccer our whole lives, we got to enjoy the prime of Messi and Ronaldo, and I think that we're not worthy for having being able to watch those two guys at their greatest going up against each other. But it's definitely the end. This is it. This is their final World Cups. This is kind of the passing of the torch. It might likely be their last games in their national team jerseys at the end of this World Cup. It's definitely, and then the new stars are there, right? The Yamals, the Nico Williams, the Mbappé, who's been around forever, but he's still extremely young.
Yep.
And France has a couple of other absolute stars. We haven't even spoken about Ousmane Dembele, who won Ballon d'Or, who's on the other wing. It's Mbappé and him.
It's so great.
It's just Michael Olise, who's a fantastic player as well. So it's definitely the passing of the torch. It's sad because we've watched these two guys just be at the top of the game, some of the best we've ever seen, and it's Father Time always wins.
Yeah, and I asked some of your top 3 teams. Do you have any dark horses that maybe nobody's talking about?
I think the popular one is Morocco. Got to the semifinals in 2022. Now are being gifted AFCON after losing the final.
I was going to say, they didn't even win.
They didn't win AFCON.
Yeah.
They lost the final. But there was a lot of controversy.
Yep.
Senegal won, but now they're trying to strip Senegal of the title and give it to them. And Senegal was holding the trophy in the in an encampment for an army encampment. It's come get the trophy. It's in the Senegalese army's headquarters. So that was a funny one. But yeah, I do think Morocco is they have players at the top players in the world. Hakimi, probably the best right back in all of football, soccer. And he's kind of the leader of that team, but they have so many players littered around Europe playing at the top teams. They can surprise a lot of people. I don't know if it'll be a surprise anymore, but they can go a long way. They have a good path as well if you look at their path from the group stage on. I like them.
Is there anybody that maybe people have high expectations for that you think is going to fall flat? I guess you kind of said you're iffy on England.
I'm iffy on England for sure. I'll give you another one though. I'll give you Germany. I think Germany is.
I feel like they're older now.
They've kind of let go of some of the age. Right. They have some younger kids, but I think that's why they're not there yet. I think they're going in the right direction. I think everyone looks at Germany and says, okay, Florian Wirtz from Liverpool, fantastic player. Kid is so good and so young and kind of scratching the surface of how good he can be, in my opinion. But I think it'll take a little bit of time for Germany to kind of get there. One more World Cup, I think, getting that experience and moving on. With England, it's one of those things with England because they can win the World Cup or they can fall flat on their ass.
They could get
like they've done before. and it's just the amount of talent is stupid that England have. Yeah. They lack that killer mentality.
Yep.
Harry Kane's playing at the top of his level though right now. He for me the favorite for Ballon d'Or right now. But he's so good. He's so good right now.
I'm so mad at him
because he left Tottenham,
as he should. But
those scars don't heal,
they
man.
Don't, especially with him doing so good at Bayern.
Yeah.
But
do you think that winning a World Cup for guys I know Mbappe's already been there, but a Haaland, it's gonna be tougher. Haaland, but
that'd be impressive.
Can put them, as we talk about passing of the torch, into that echelon that guys like Ronaldo and Messi were in, but for Mbappe to do it again and Haaland to at least get far. You are one of the best players in the sport to get to the biggest stage in the world. You don't got to win it, but at least to get there.
Yeah, for Haaland, obviously it's tough. For him. For Norway, just getting to the World Cup was a huge deal, right? Yeah, and they've got some players around. The front two for Norway got to be the most physically imposing dudes that we have in the World Cup. There's two giant men in Alexander Sorloth and Erling Haaland. You're talking two guys that are over 6'5", 6'6", coming at you in the bottom. That's imposing. They just don't have a ton behind them.
Right.
It's already fantastic that they're there. Again, wouldn't want to play them. They scored 6 goals on Italy in qualifying. They are a dangerous team. I just don't know how far they can get. Right. It would be huge. Haaland did win the Champions League already. So Mbappe, yes, of course, he wants to win the World Cup with France, 2-time winner. That's unheard of, right? He still wants that Champions League so bad. That's in his mind, for sure. And now they're in there with Real Madrid, and PG leaves PSG, and they win that. So I think that's weighing a little heavily on him. Of course, the World Cup is different, playing for his country. But I think that's where more of his focus is on, in my opinion. Yeah.
Interesting.
Do you think that could have an effect on because it feels like some of those top teams are so tight, like you had mentioned. Obviously England being one, but France and Spain. Do you think that could be a role like going forward while they get, if don't want to jinx them, but like if and when they get deep into it, that could have an effect that maybe Spain just wants it more, maybe England just wants it more where he's not focused, because although like you had mentioned, I mean Dembele, obviously Ballon d'Or winner, I mean that whole entire lineup is absolutely ridiculous, but Mbappe being front and center, maybe that could have an effect moving forward.
To see how this rest of the season ends, because these guys are playing.
It's
the other thing too, and I hate to kind of get on the soapbox about this, but the amount of games these guys play now, it's
insane.
It's wild.
It is crazy.
It really is. It's the quality is definitely suffering.
Yeah.
And you're seeing it. And these guys are going to get to the World Cup. The PSG guys and the Chelsea guys, like they haven't stopped, right? They went to the Club World Cup last summer, took like a 2-week break and started their seasons, haven't stopped, and they're going to go straight into the World Cup. It's going to affect the product. It's going to be a little tough to watch, but these guys, the guys that are going to go deep runs in the Champions League, are going to be playing up until
the World Cup,
a couple of weeks before the World Cup. So it'll be tough to see. Like if Mbappe and Real Madrid, if they are able to turn this around against Bayern Munich and go deep into this, it could absolutely affect France. Yeah. Same with Dembele and PSG.
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, listen, I'm excited.
I'm pumped too.
It's going to be a really fun summer with the World Cup, and we can also kind of circle back to the product we're ripping and some of the boxes, but just like we said, the market on soccer right now is just growing in the sports card world. Like people, I think for the longest time, like you had your people investing into baseball cards, football cards. We've seen the basketball market take off.
Yep.
But the one thing soccer I think has over all those sports is just the international.
Yeah,
it's massive.
Like lure to it, where they just have collectors around the world.
Right.
Where it's just growing exponentially. We will see a massive dump of products from Panini from, I think, May to July of just 7 different boxes for anything they can find just to push this before. Yep. And I think it's a perfect time to buy soccer, too.
Yep.
Perfect time to buy soccer.
The Panini, I mean, those are legendary, right? The Panini stickers with stickers and cards with the
cracks,
World Cup. And, dude, those are legendary. I can remember being a kid and like just the every time before a World Cup, it was like you had to have every single player and put them all out. You guys are you guys looking for certain players, younger players in the World Cup?
Well, I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you that. So that's perfect.
That's what I wanted to ask you. That
nobody's talking about that. Like would be a good buy right now because you think they are going to make their name known in the World Cup.
I have 2 guys from Turkey that I think is
Turkey. Okay.
Kenan Yıldız. He plays for Juventus. He is a world beater, superstar in the making. He's 20 years old. He could potentially take over games. He's a guy that I think he's going to be playing against the U.S., so we'll get a nice up-and-close look at him and his teammate Arda Güler, who plays for Real Madrid as well. 2 extremely young superstars that, in my opinion, can really create a lot of buzz for themselves. They're already a big clubs. Typically, a lot of times you look at the World Cup as an opportunity for some of the younger players to get there. These are 2 players that have gotten there last season, have started to grow, now are more of in a star role, and I think they have an opportunity to kind of shine at the World Cup. And it's going to only makes it even bigger that they'll be playing against the U.S., so that spotlight will be massive. That's, for me, 2 players for sure to look at, and Nico Paz from Argentina. He is looked at as Messi's replacement.
Good to know. We're going to have to buy him.
Nico Paz plays for Como in Italy. Likely will be with Real Madrid after the World Cup.
Nice.
Yeah, because I mean, like sports cards, obviously, it's similar to the stock market. It's just attacking things before they blow up. So like, and it's tough too because you can buy into those big names. Like you could go buy Mbappe.
Right.
Obviously, the market's going to be so high.
Yeah.
But if he goes out and wins it again, it might double.
Right.
Same with, I mean, Messi's a tough one. Like Messi's market's already insane.
Yeah.
But when he calls it quits at the end of his career and you bought cards now, it's going to be higher then. Like it's similar with like LeBron is like I don't think it's ever a bad time to buy LeBron if you're going to hold it, because when he calls it quits,
right,
it's going to go up. There's certain guys where the market really only goes up and not too much down, but it's a very select few. And I think Messi and Ronaldo are two of those people that fit into that.
So I've been on a kick within these past like 3 weeks. We got to rip a 17-18 select. And it was actually, we pulled a Neymar rookie auto, but out of the same box, we pulled, this was first year of Kaboom, which is like the case hit, of Didier Drogba on the Kaboom. So his first year Kaboom. I've been buying a lot more of those types of players of, I would say, so your 1A would be Messi, Ronaldo, Pele, right? I would put him in that 1B conversation. So people like Didier Drogba, like I'm just trying to Zlatan, just like of that same caliber. Ashley Cole, I just picked up one of his kabooms.
Yeah.
They're not very expensive right now, but they're international names that I think with the U.S. market starting to explode, that when people really start to watch and like, hey, I'm a Chelsea fan, and Fernando
Torres.
Yeah, Fernando Torres.
Yeah.
Like, wow, he was such a fun player to watch. Like, there are so many big names that I don't think that their market has reached their potential, and they're already retired, where I'm not going to have to worry about a torn ACL taking out their career.
Right.
So those are the type of things that I've actually been going after instead of doing the younger players.
Yeah.
Like international legends of the game that aren't Vincent Kompany, we pulled his 101 superfractor the other night out of Yami Yamal rookie year.
La Liga?
No, it was out of rookie year Don Russ. So just like players like that are going to just go down in the history books as some of the best,
Yeah, I wonder too if it's worth investing into like the legends that are retired, like Ronaldinho. Like,
that's what
would
I've
you
been
buy
going after.
him if like what's going to keep it going up?
His
if that
doc,
makes sense?
his doc just is about to come out.
Okay.
Well, that
Ronaldo
too, which is
documentary.
great. I think that just the influx of people watching the sport within the U.S., because the thing about the U.S. market is like it feels almost very closed off. Like your everyday buyer isn't going in and going onto the Chinese website and finding what's the name of their whatever their marketplace is where they're buying. Like, I wouldn't know, like your normal person, like probably even yourself, like are you a card collector like at all?
Not anymore. No.
But
yeah.
what would be your, if you wanted to go buy a card, where would you go find it?
Yeah. No. That's
Probably eBay, right?
right. Yeah.
That's because that's where everybody would go. That's the market that I think is going to explode over these next year, 2 years, with the U.S. team getting better, with MLS getting more packed, with better Topps product coming out. Like, that's why I'm buying players that I grew up watching, because I think that market is going to explode. It already is overseas. I just think it's going to be introduced here.
What's the market for Christian Pulisic? Just as a
It's good. It is.
I feel like it's not as big as what it was.
It wasn't,
I
no.
think people have seen him less as a Captain America and more as like a Robin
At one point,
to Batman. I don't know.
it was.
Right.
It was
It was.
crazy.
he got off to a fantastic start this season in Italy with Milan. He's tailed off a bit, but I feel like there's room, because if he has a big World Cup here at home, it will be huge. If we're looking at the U.S. team,
Yeah, I was going to
I'd
ask,
have
are
to
there any
see-
players that you would maybe in going forward that you might say, hey, this is somebody that you want to take a look at?
yeah, for me, Balogun, Fullerene Balogun, the striker from Monaco. I think he has a big World Cup. The big thing coming out of the last World Cup was we don't have a number 9. Who's going to be our number 9? Who's going to be the striker? He's kind of grabbed that and not let it go for about a year now, and it's his job, and he will start at that striker position for the U.S. And Malik Tillman, I think, is the other player. He plays for Bayer Leverkusen midfielder. He'll be right behind Balogun next to Pulisic starting at the World Cup. So I think that he is another player that could see his stock grow for sure if he has a good World Cup.
Okay. I have one final question to end this off, and I think I know the answer based on your jersey, but I mean, people have been having this conversation for the last decade.
Oh, boy.
Who's better, Messi or Ronaldo?
Oh, it's Messi. Come on.
Why?
Come on, man. No, look, I'll take myself out of this conversation. I've been fortunate enough to have a lot of conversations with former soccer players, former professional soccer players, and every single one of them say there's no one that can turn a game over on its side like Lionel Messi, as far as just taking over the game with his dribbling, with dragging defenders. Even Ronaldo at his prime was more of a striker, more of a guy that needs service, needs the ball delivered to him to make a play, to do something. And it's usually him scoring. Messi's assist numbers are massively superior to Cristiano Ronaldo. I think he's a more complete player. Again, we're pulling hairs. He is a fantastic player, Cristiano Ronaldo, one of the best ever. Probably the best pure goal scorer ever. But I think Messi's a more complete player. I think he's got it, and he's got the World Cup to prove it. I will say this about Cristiano Ronaldo. I will say this. Haji Wright of the U.S. men's national team has more knockout game goals in the World Cup than Cristiano Ronaldo, who has 0.
That's true.
0 knockout goals in the World Cup.
That's crazy.
Just saying.
Well, again, on that same topic, and this is no disrespect to either Ronaldo or Messi, but I just watched a video. I think it was Rio Ferdinand was talking about how Yamal he thinks that he's almost better than both of them.
I think we need to put the brakes on.
I agree. Do you think that there is potential, though, down the road that he could be better than either one of those players?
It's funny you asked me this conversation. We got into a fight on the air.
Really?
On our show the other day with our guy. We were coming off of the Barcelona Atletico Madrid game in La Liga, and we had to react to it. We did our segment. And my co-host was like, yeah, he was the best player on the field. I'm like, he was great, but he didn't score a goal or have an assist. He took 7 shots, and none of them were on target. Right. Like, oh, yeah, but it's not all stats. I'm like, if you're going to say the guy was the best player on the game, and there was 4 goals, and you didn't have any, and you didn't even put a shot on target, no, it doesn't matter what you do with your dribbling. You got to finish. So that's my thing. I think he has all of the ability to be a Messi, to be a Ronaldo. He's got to get more goals. He's got to score more. If you look at his stats kind of don't. You look at the stats, you look at the goals, you look at the assists. They don't kind of match the hype that he gets. Yeah. And a lot of the games where he gets these goals are against lesser opponents. He played in the Champions League, first leg of the quarterfinals, 0 goals, 0 assists against Atletico Madrid. Again, he is an incredible player, maybe a generational player. But let's pump the brakes. Yeah. He's 18 too. Come on. Like only because this guy's been in the spotlight since he was 16. You know what I was doing when I was 16? Getting in trouble, not doing anything good. Nothing good I was doing when I was 16 years old.
It's so crazy to think about, like, in hindsight. Like, he's probably got 20 years left of pro soccer.
If that. Like, that's crazy.
Like, let's see. I worry about all the games.
I mean, obviously,
I worry about all the
games.
I do. Yeah. I worry about the longevity of some of these guys' careers. Again, maybe I'm just being old, like, old man on my lawn screaming about this. But
do you think they start too young?
I don't think they start too young. I think that they are just playing, like, Messi had...
They're doing too much.
At one point, like, Messi had, I think, 6 games played when Yamal had 100.
That's crazy.
Yeah, at like the same exact age.
That's
so
crazy.
it's just that there's just too many games nowadays and too many competitions, and it's all cash grabs. And that's another conversation.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Well, we appreciate you coming on. Do you want to let our viewers know where they can find you, especially as we get closer to an insane summer?
Yeah.
Where they can find you, listen to you, and hear you talk more soccer? Because obviously we're not the best soccer minds here. But I'd say you're a pretty powerful soccer mind to hear more heading up to the World Cup.
We'll come back. We'll keep talking during the World Cup. On CBS Sports Golazo Network. So it's on the Paramount Plus app. You look in there. Golazo Network is our 24/7 soccer coverage. Awesome. We have several shows on there. I host Scoreline, which is our 5 to 6 p.m. show every weekday and weekend as well. So yeah, it's good stuff.
Awesome. Well, Stefano, we appreciate you coming on and talking a little World Cup and even mixing in like sports car market too, because that's a big thing that obviously our viewers are in tap with is who to collect right now before this year's World Cup. So appreciate you coming on.
Yep. Thanks for having me.